Everyone loves the tree.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Aces High Podcast. We're your hosts, Miriah and Ty. And tonight we're joined by a very special guest. We're joined by Carlin from WNBA Radio. Carlin, Ty, what's up, fellas? Appreciate you guys joining me. How you doing?
What's up? I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good too. I'm excited.
Yeah, appreciate you joining us. Glad we could finally make this work. Before we get, into any actual WNBA talk, why don't you kind of tell the people, Carlin, like what you do, not like actual work, but as far as, as WNBA radio goes, I know, your reviews, talk about that a little bit and where the people can find you.
Okay, yeah. So my name is Carlin. I guess found WNBA Radio, which was basically just like on Spaces on Twitter, where we just talk about WNBA from players to teams, coaches, basically everything from the gossip to X's and O's. And I have a lot of fun doing it. Made a lot of great bonds with people. Then I also have a YouTube channel where I do movie and TV reviews, basically on just anything that I'm passionate about in terms of like any genre that I watch and stuff like that. I also have a podcast that's very similar to my YouTube channel, which is called Starfighter Full Movie Podcast, a podcast where I watch movies that I have little to no interest about, and I watch them so I can find an appreciation for them and understand why people love movies that I just never cared for.
That's awesome. Because a lot of people, they'll, could do the reviews and stuff, but a lot of people won't sit down and actually watch movies that, normally they would never watch, whether they're doing reviews or not. So I love that. That's pretty cool. So yeah, obviously we know the big Golden State Valkyries expansion draft just happened a few days ago. As an Aces fan, I'm very surprised, I guess, that for one, that the Aces did not, you're not trying to keep our young talent. I don't know. And she was such a favorite in Vegas. Number one jersey sales. Every time, normally when a player checks into a game, the crowd will, cheer them, for the first time that they check in. Literally every time that girl would check into a game at home, that place would go crazy. Vegas just loved her. Obviously, she had her fans that came with her as well from college, but Vegas just grew this love so fast for her. And very crazy that, we didn't, keep her. But I'm happy. I'm so happy for her that she gets to go to Golden State and start that franchise. Obviously, having the connection already with Natalie, the head coach over there. And, from the interview that Kate did afterwards, she sounds like she's excited. She's grateful for now this opportunity. I just want to go through each player. We'll kind of talk about each one, and maybe, if you're surprised Golden State took that player out of anybody else on, their team or whatnot. So we'll go through each one. Let's start. So for those that don't know, Carlin is a Dallas fan. And tell me first, while I look this up, how are you a Dallas fan and an Aces fan? Let's talk about that real quick.
Well, it's pretty simple. I mean, I started watching the WNBA in 2014, back when it was the Shoni Schimmel era, and the Atlanta Dream was going so crazy with that.
Baby.
Yeah, that's right. But I didn't really have a team because I didn't really root for Atlanta because of their owner and whatnot. But in 2018, that's when I became a really big fan of it, and I was just such a big fan of Kelsey Plum and the entire Aces organization. So I stuck with that. And in 2021, when I saw the Wings play and how chaotic that group was. They had so many crazy personalities that just did not work, and they were like starting fights, throwing temper tantrums, losing games in the most hilarious fashion that I just fell in love with that team. So that's how that happened.
Oh, the good old days, the good old days. Chat, what's up? I didn't even say hi to y'all. Oh my gosh, what's up? I hope you guys are doing great. Don, throwback, first in the door, per usual. Appreciate you all so much. Brandon, what's good?
Hey.
Peachy, what's up? What's up? Good to see you. We got a lot of, we do a 49ers show as well. So a lot of the 49ers fans are now, becoming Valkyries fans. So we're getting a lot of new fans joining us. So we've been kind of taking the time to explain things to them and different processes and whatnot lately to get them kind of caught up on stuff. All right, let's go through this. Let's start with Dallas. Carla, I don't even know how to pronounce her last name, so I don't want to even butcher it. But let's talk about the player that was taken from Dallas. She's a point guard, right? I don't even know much about her, like I said. So why don't you guys kind of your thoughts on them taking her out of anybody else that was available on Dallas and how she's going to help them or not? Whoever wants to start.
I defer to the Wings fan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Carla. So first off, she was drafted in the first round, and it's always kind of tricky to know overseas players because she's from France and she's been playing over there in the EuroLeague. Normally when Greg Bibb does this, and Greg Bibb is our former CEO and former general manager for the Dallas Wings. Thank God he's gone. But normally when he does this, we kind of just have to trust him when he brings over overseas talent. Normally that does not go well for us because we've been trying that for the longest with a Walk career. But yeah, I mean, apparently she's good. She has good stats overseas, but she hasn't come into the league yet. So it's not really hurting the Wings per se. So I'm not really too upset about it. But Natalie Nakase did say she wanted shooters on the Valkyries, so I would imagine that's a good pick because she's definitely not having anyone in our starting five.
Yeah. Thoughts, Ty?
Yeah, I know a little bit about her because I follow the French team because I'm a huge Marine Johannes fan, and I see a lot of this week. There's been some NBA players shooting one-legged threes. They ain't got nothing on Marine.
That's true.
MJ all day. That's all I got to say about that. But yeah, I know a little bit about Carla just from following her from the French team. She can shoot. She can get hot from outside, and I know Natalie would love that. And she's just a good all-around player from what I've seen. So I think it's a good pickup for her. I know Natalie would love a point guard that can control things and also hit the outside shot, a la Chelsea Gray. So, hey, it could be a very good pickup for him.
So, do we know why she hasn't joined Dallas? And do we think that she would plan to join Golden State or any ideas?
I think, it was mostly just overseas, the league that's over there. She had commitments. I'm seeing that she was born in 2004, so she's really young. Normally for a rookie, the rule is that the WNBA's overseas rules doesn't apply to like if you're in your rookie contract. So she can make her money over there and then still come back over when she's ready. So I guess that's the positive thing about it. But yeah, I mean, I hope she plays for the Valkyries next season. They really need her.
Yeah. She's only 20, like just turned 20 this year in 2024. So we're talking super young. Wow, and you know how overseas commitments are. I mean, especially the French national team, they are committed. That is their number one priority, their number one thing. Everything else is secondary.
Right.
So, like when these players commit to playing for the French national team, that's their ace in the hole. Everything else is like a side gig. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it kind of is what it is.
Yeah, that's very true. We actually seen like a lot of players this season totally took the WNBA season off just so they can
Yeah.
prepare for the Olympics.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. They want to play for their national teams, which is understandable.
Yeah, this season was a very crazy season. Let's move over to Washington. Golden State selected Julie Van Loo, another point guard. Thoughts on Van Loo joining?
Julie Van Loop from the Belgian national team, another international player,
Yep.
but played this first season in the W and played very well. I mean, she's kind of an older player, so she's got like no fear, and she was out there balling. I liked her on Washington. You know, Natalie loves those gritty players. She's kind of like a gritty player herself, right? So I thought this was a good pickup.
Yeah.
I thought this was get some veteran leadership on the team, if you will. She's not a veteran in the W, but she's been playing for a number of years, so bring her on in.
Yeah. I thought it was a really solid pickup. I was really surprised that the Mystics. Well, I was surprised at first that the Mystics didn't want to protect her, but then kind of thinking about their situation because they are in a rebuild mode, and it would make sense because knowing the age of Julie, whenever that team is ready to compete for a championship and they have all their players progress and develop. I think Julie would be a little bit out of her prime by that time. So,
Agreed.
yeah, it made a lot of sense why they didn't protect her now. But I think it's a great pickup for the Valkyries. Absolutely great pickup. I'm pretty sure this will be their starting point guard going forward. She has the overseas experience. She can hit the three ball. She did it with pretty good consistency throughout. The only thing that's like questionable is like the defense, but I think she might be okay with that.
Yeah. Let's move on to Connecticut. Veronica Burton, another point guard selected. Thoughts? And are you surprised that they selected Burton, or was there somebody else they should have picked, or are we good with Burton?
They definitely should have picked someone else because I was so confused when they announced that. Because again, Natalie said that she wanted shooters on this team, and as for someone who is a Dallas Wings fan and who has watched Veronica Burton every single game of her career, I have seen her make a living shattering backboards every time she takes a three, like literally. So that's really confusing why they picked her. Defensively, she's great. She's a really great defensive player.
There you go.
Yeah, it's just she's just not a D in three. Like she really struggles with that 3-point shot. So yeah, that's a head scratcher for me personally.
Yeah. So defensively, I think it's a good pickup because she can play some D. Now, she actually played very well to end the season for Connecticut. She got heavy minutes because of her play, and she made the most of it. So, and you kind of see players around their third year when they start to develop, like something can kind of click and they start to put it together a little bit. So maybe this is her putting it together some. You never know. But I think just from a defensive standpoint, like you always like, all right, we need to make a stop. Let's put in this player. I think it's good from that standpoint.
Okay. Let's go on over to LA. Golden State selected Stephanie Talbot, a wing. Thoughts on that selection?
Stephanie Talbot was pretty inconsistent with the Sparks. It kind of made sense for the Sparks not to protect her because that's just not a part of their future, knowing that they have the second pick in this upcoming draft and they already have like two really great prospects that they're developing. But she is a D3 type player. So again, it's another solid pickup for the Valkyries. I just only hope she'll stay consistent. The one thing that she does really add though is her experience. She's been in the league for a while, and then obviously she just if I'm not mistaken, she was on the national team as well. If I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
the Australian national team. So yeah, that's a huge plus.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's experience. She can be streaky from the outside. So that helps kind of. Um, what I like about her, she's kind of a big guard, if you will, at 6'2". Like she can play that big guard role, which helps defensively. But yeah, I figured she'd be out there, especially with Dallas, LA, developing, Ray Burrell. Now she came on to end the season. Stephanie Talbot would be expendable. So, hey, you never know. We'll see what Natalie can do with her. That's the thing. She may have something in store for her.
And one more thing I want to add about Stephanie Talbot. There's a catchphrase going around on Twitter called "fake demon," and I think that's literally what Stephanie Talbot is. Because I remember every time that the Aces played the Sparks, she just wants to show up and act like she's like Michael Jordan out of nowhere. So yeah, absolutely didn't like that. But yeah, did not like that.
There's a lot of fake demons on LA when they play the Aces. So.
Oh, absolutely.
So De'Erica's influence.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of the Aces, and I know I talked about it a little bit, but let's get your guys' thoughts on Golden State selecting Kate Martin and thoughts on Vegas not protecting her.
Ooh, okay. So Kate Martin. I think them not protecting Kate lets everyone know what the Aces agenda is for the upcoming season, which is to win a championship and do not build around the younger talent at all. It seems like this offseason they are going to go towards more veteran roles just from letting Kate Martin go. I was a lot shocked that they didn't protect her because from draft night and from how Becky Hammon was talking about her and from all the behind the scenes that we've seen throughout the year, she was saying that Kate Martin is basically Clark. Alicia Clark.
Alicia Clark
for the most part.
2.0.
Yeah, a D&3, 5'11", can guard multiple positions, can shoot the three. Because Clark's not getting any younger. I think she's turning like 37, 38 this upcoming season. So I thought that would have been a great replacement for us, but obviously not. But I think it's a solid pick for the Valkyrie. I don't think she's gonna start for the Valkyries, unfortunately, but I'm pretty sure she's going to be the most popular player on the franchise. And, I think that's really huge for the Valkyries going into your inaugural season, having such a superstar, or I guess superstar like fame that Kate Martin does.
Yeah. I remember, Miriah, when we did our initial protectee list, I had her off. Like I didn't have her protected. Just because I thought they would go more veteran. And you can only protect 5. So, right. So you protect the big 4 plus 1 more. Yeah, what can you do? So you just knew Natalie would pick her up just because of all the great things you've heard about her. And then what you actually saw on the court. That's a player you want on your team. So, I'm sure she'll get heavy minutes and be great.
Yeah. Natalie had said in her press conference after that she had grown a really close relationship with Kate. So yeah, I'm not surprised that she was selected if Vegas wasn't going to protect her. And we had spent a lot of time talking about how I thought Alicia Clark would have made a great choice for Golden State. And not for, what obviously just what she can bring to the court these days, but what she does for, bringing up the young players under her, what she does for the community, like all that, starting a new team, like I thought would have been awesome. And you guys know, anybody that watches this show, like I'm a huge AC, like I will go to the ends of this earth defending her because of what she's done for Vegas, not just on the court, especially off the court. She does more for this community than any superstar that's ever played for any team in this city.
She was out there today.
She was. And, and I thought even more so because she was bringing up Kate under her for this, like, to take her spot, we thought, when she was gone. But obviously that's not Vegas's plans. It's just very strange because, we had spent a lot of time talking too about how Kate went from being the first person coming off the bench till we never even got to see her anymore. It's very strange. And it was just like, okay, well, like we knew she had got hurt, but she wasn't still hurt at the end of the season. Like there was games when she could have played, but like we weren't seeing her. And so just very strange, something, I don't know. I still think something was going on, but we'll never know. Who knows? Let's move on to Chicago. We got Golden State selecting Miriah. Is it Conde?
Yeah, I think it's Conde.
Conde, yeah.
Thoughts on Miriah, because I know nothing about her.
I wish I had that Snoop Dogg video when he's like, "Who?"
Yeah,
because I did not know who this was.
Me too.
I hosted like a playback of like a live watch party of the draft, and everyone was so surprised that either Dana Evans or Isabel Harrison did not get drafted.
Exactly.
Or the fact that maybe they were protected. So I think that's probably a plus on Chicago's end because now they can start trading players if they really wanted to get some equity back. But as for the Valkyries, I have no idea who this is, so I don't even know if it helps them per se. So hopefully it does.
We'll see. I have no idea who she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like searching her real quick, it just says she's born in 97. She's a Spanish basketball player. She previously played for the Polish team. So I don't even know what that name is. And she also plays for the Spanish national team.
Right.
She's 6'1".
Mm-hmm.
She was selected in 2019 in the third round, number 27th overall.
Ooh, it's the best draft.
So has she been ever showed up? Like, no, right? I don't think she's ever even played in the W then, right?
I've never seen her before.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like Googling her right now.
Yeah, Brandon put in the chat she was teammates with Megan Gustafson on the Spanish national team, but I don't remember her. So who knows?
Yeah, she never played in the league.
Look like she played in.
Yeah.
So that's the second player now that they've taken that has never played in the league. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if Miriah is planning on ever showing up. Or if we'll ever see her. All right, moving right along. Let's go to New York. Kayla Thornton. Thoughts? Are we surprised New York didn't protect her? Are we surprised Golden State picked her? Or we think this is a good pick? Thoughts?
This is the best pick out of the entire draft. I think everyone knows this is probably the most predictable pick because Kayla Thornton is just such an amazing two-way player, such a great bench player for the Liberty. She is the heart and soul of that championship team. If you watch her from the Liberty's social media and how much she makes people laugh, how much they listen to her voice whenever she's speaking in the huddles and stuff like that. And as a Wings fan, I can say she is the second greatest Wings player of all time, behind Enrique. But she's just absolutely incredible. I look forward to watching her play in Golden State this upcoming season. And yeah, they got a really great player, really great
Yeah.
player.
Not surprised she wasn't protected because of everything that New York has, but great pickup. KT is awesome. Awesome with the Wings, awesome with the Liberty. She just can do it all and hustles, right? She's just a player. Like, you just put her on the court and you know she'll produce. And she leaves it all out there. And she'll guard from the 1 to the 5. It doesn't matter. So this is a great pickup. You know, she'll be an instant starter and do great things there.
Like it. I like it. All right. Minnesota. I don't know. I have no idea how to say that name.
It's Cecilia Zandalicini.
Zandalicini. Oh, okay. So pretty much
Yep,
just
you said it.
spelling
You
it
said it
out
right.
exactly how it looks. Zandalicini. All right. So thoughts on Zandalicini going to Golden State?
Out of how Natalie said she wants to build this roster, Zandalicini is probably the best fit that she's looking for. She is one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. I think she averaged somewhere like, if not 50%, very close to 50% throughout the entire season.
Yep.
She didn't play a whole lot of minutes because obviously with Minnesota, Cheryl Reeve keeps like such a low rotation with players. But she's really good, you know, a D&3 type player, has great size. I think she's a solid pickup. Looking forward to see what she's going to do at more minutes. I think the only thing that's kind of questionable, and again, I'm not sure what her role is going to be per se, but I wonder if she's going to be one of the leaders for this Valkyries team, because everyone keeps talking about like who's going to be like the designated point guard or scorer or rebounder, stuff like that, best defensive player. But I'm looking at this roster, I'm thinking like who's going to be like that leader, and maybe Zandalicini can be that. I mean, her team went to the finals. She's been coached by one of the best coaches of all time. She definitely has the experience to do so.
Yeah, I think it's a good pickup. Good shooter, can play that point forward role, right? And she's just big. And like guards are getting bigger in this league. You know, bigger and stronger. So if you can have somebody out there who's 6'2" with some good size, I think it helps, right? So she can definitely jack it up from 3 with ease. I mean, they go in like swish. So I think it's a good pickup. And looking at the offense like Natalie may put in place, she can be a heavy part of it.
All right. Phoenix. They picked up Mo Billings. Thoughts on Mo joining Golden State?
I love Mo Billings. I absolutely love Mo Billings. I low-key have like the biggest crush on her too from watching her play in Atlanta when I go to the games. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely athletic. She's such a great rebounder, good defender. When the Dallas Wings picked her up, we had her on like this weird contract, which was basically just for like injury reserve kind of thing. Yep. She was playing the best basketball of her entire career, the best basketball. Almost had a triple double in one of the games. Great rebounding, great scoring. Yeah, all in all, she's a really good player. She just needs to not be so one-dimensional, because sometimes she can just only focus on the defensive side of the ball. She needs to work on her mid-range shot, and she doesn't really have a 3-point shot like that. But she's definitely a starter on this team. Absolutely, I can see her starting at the 4 position. But yeah, love Monique Billings. Love it.
Monique Billings is one of those people who you see a team pick them up somewhere during the year, and then you're like, how in the hell was she not on the roster from day one?
That was me last season for sure.
That's Monique Billings, right? Seems to happen every year. She's that good. Like, and like Carlin said, she had a great year this year. Came in, and you wouldn't even know she just came in.
Yeah.
The way she was playing, she was awesome. So I'm loving this. I'm hoping this is her temporary home, and like she continues to get better. So yeah, and I can see her being a starter from day one as well.
I like it. All right. Let's go Indy. I know a lot of people were kind of confused that they didn't protect and it's Timmy, right? So I just would pull up any post. It didn't even have to be about her specifically. And there were Indiana fans under there bitching and complaining. And it's like, this post has nothing to do about her. Go to her own post. And it was just like a post about Kate. They're under there. Well, why didn't they protect? And it's just like, wow. So this seems to be a big uproar. Your guys' thoughts on Timmy joining Golden State?
Well, first off, shout out to Fever fans because they're absolutely hilarious to see them crash out over every little thing about their players, about Clark, about everything. Now, I will say, I think Timmy was probably out of everyone on the roster, I think she complimented Clark the most for being such a versatile big that can like run the floor better than anyone on the team. So I think probably that's why the fans are a little bit confused why she wasn't protected to kind of build on, because she's not that old. She's still pretty young. But in terms of the Fever having a first round pick that they could get another big that's a lot better, that can catch the ball a little bit more and have way more of an offensive bag, it made sense. Like, I mean, of all the players, it would make sense why Timmy didn't get protected. Because again, she played a lot of minutes last season, but there's a new coach in town, has new plans, you know. So yeah, I think it's good for some of these other players that they're going to get more minutes as well with her gone. But yeah, I think the Valkyries, I think they're going to love Timmy. I think as the roster is right now, I think she is going to start. But I just don't know what position. Maybe the 5 or 4. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be her and Mo Billings starting that front court.
Yeah, should be 4 or 5. She'll be in there, definitely. But I think it's a great pickup. She is 32, but man, she doesn't play old. Not that 32 is old.
Wow.
Not that 32 is old, but the way she runs the floor, you would think she's 22 because she gets out and sprints and she's just full throttle, and she has a knack for it of filling the lane and finishing at the rim. She does an incredible job at it, and she is a good post defender, so that helps. So I think it's a great pickup. If you need someone to run the floor and get out, get you some easy buckets, there it is, because she's going to be sprinting every time.
Yeah. All right.
And remember, remember one more thing about Temi. When she came in, she was used to being a starter this season, but she was going on the bench. Who did she reach out to get, some knowledge of what it takes to come off the bench and play well? She reached out to Alicia Clark. Who does Natalie know? Alicia Clark. You want somebody with that same kind of mindset on your team that, hey, if you're a starter or if you're coming off the bench, you bring the same energy. And that's what Temi will bring.
Yeah. All right. Last but not least, from the ATL, we got Vegas legend, Miss Rupert herself. Thoughts on this pickup and kind of rapid. Oh no, I'll have you guys answer that next. Go ahead. Thoughts on this pickup?
Ileana Rupert. She's cool. She's someone that's never like wowed me like throughout the years because again she was on that 2022 roster with the Aces and won that championship. She didn't have like a crazy role on there, but she
No.
did play, right? And then she went on to the Atlanta Dream where she didn't have the biggest role in there as well. And then most recently we saw her play in the Olympics for Team France, which she didn't have too crazy of a role for that one either. um or at least not that I've noticed. Sometimes it's hard to notice her out there, but
Yeah.
again, but how Natalie wants to build this team, 3-point shot pace. She's a center who can run the floor, shoot the three. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense why she's there. So I think she'll be fine. And I think when it comes to training camp, I think her and Timmy are battling for that center spot.
Yeah. I'm thinking just size, right? She has good size to her. She's 6'4", but kind of built wider. So she bring good size to the table, and she can hit a three. Like, I don't know, something about the French team where everyone shoots threes. Like, whether you're 5'2" or 7 feet tall, you're shooting a three. It is what it is. So if like they can hit her in some corner threes, trailing threes, extend the offense, I'm sure they're a user, but like I see her as just a role player coming off the bench, really, because she just doesn't play a lot. That seems to be who she is.
What are you guys' thoughts on no Seattle? Seattle's the only team that they didn't select any players from. And it's just kind of funny. It's not funny, but it is that Seattle's like going through all this craziness. All of a sudden, it comes out, and then Golden State's like, no, you guys can just keep all your players. So thoughts on that? And then I know you guys both had said some one way or another, Mo and Timmy both starting. Who would be your other starters from the players they currently have? And obviously, maybe, probably this person they select at number 5 would be starting, whoever that'll be.
So as for Seattle, it's hilarious. I think it's absolutely hilarious they didn't select anyone. I think they looked at the roster and saw what everyone else saw throughout the season, and it's like they looked at Victoria Vivians and said, "You know what? We're okay on that. We're just gonna just pass this team because their bench was god awful that season. Just absolutely terrible. So Seattle has a lot to figure out, both front office and their roster. And as for potential starters for the Valkyries, I think I mentioned it in my group chat earlier today because again, people were like commenting under my like Chicago Sky post on like who they could get, and I was thinking like, hey, y'all need guards, but Odyssey Sims would be a great pickup. But unfortunately for y'all, the Valkyrie have like first dibs in free agency, so everyone's gonna be looking at Odyssey Sims, and I know she can fit pretty good with the Valkyries because she's a 3-level scorer, a complete veteran, has won a championship before, has been on really good teams, very coachable. So I think she can definitely be a starter for the Valkyries, let alone just any team.
I like that.
Yeah, I think with so much turmoil in Seattle and everything they got going on, it was like, like we're going to stay away from that just a little bit. I did think though, with the way like Carlin kept saying, the construction of the team or what Natalie wants to do, maybe a player like Sammy Wickham could fit in.
I thought that too.
Right? Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. Maybe who knows? Who knows?
They clearly protected her. Yeah.
Right. Maybe they could have protected her. Maybe Sammy's size might have been an issue. I don't know. Who the heck knows, right? You just never know. But it didn't happen. But I think they did a good job like getting all the guards that they have. So there you go.
Yeah. I see you guys talking about international in the chat, and where is it? Oh yeah, they had said in the press conference today that they're trying to get this to stick, international flavor of the Bay when it comes to the Valkyries. That's what Natalie said. Her and the GM when they were doing their conference, they said that that's their new saying, international flavor of the Bay. So I thought that's pretty catchy. I think that'll stick because especially the Bay, like there are a lot of different people from all different parts, so I think that could be something that sticks.
All right. Yeah, they're going to be competing with the Liberty because everyone always calls the Liberty the United Nations because they have like a lot of people from just different countries throughout there.
Yeah.
From China, French, American to I mean to Germany to just all over
everybody.
the place.
Shout out to Hanju.
Yeah.
I miss her.
Let's take a look at the first 5 picks of the regular draft now that Golden State has completed this draft. Carlin, who this one right here, Ty, he been arguing with me. He doesn't think Paige is going to go number 1. So
that's
do you think that you guys draft Paige? Do you think you guys draft and trade her? Do you draft and keep her? And then kind of tell me, who do you think? Talk to me about the first 5 picks.
Yeah. Okay. So to understand the Dallas Wings situation, we haven't had a competent point guard since Skylar Diggins left. And that was like roughly 2018. Possibly.
Man, been that long?
Wow.
And honestly, 2017, because she didn't even play that 2018 season, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, 2019 season. 2019 season. She didn't play at all because she was pregnant. But yeah, we haven't had a competent point guard since then. We've never had a superstar on our franchise before. And I love Enrique. I love Satu, but they're not necessarily superstar caliber players. They're stars. And Satu has the potential to be a superstar, but she's too busy sipping pina coladas on the beach while we're like literally getting blown out by 20 points. So Paige Beckers is a superstar. She brings such an amazing game, so well coached, 3-level scorer, great passer, basically everything that every single team needs. It doesn't matter if you're rebuilding, contending, whatever. Everyone needs a Paige Beckers. And to just uplift our franchise to just, I guess, just for more people to go to the games, more people to take our franchise serious. Yeah, that's completely Paige Beckers. And then also, it's like a rule in the WNBA. You always draft UConn players because their development literally gets cut in half because they just are really good at adjusting to the league. So, yeah. I have Paige Beckers going number 1. That's solidified. At number 2, I think the LA Sparks are going to pick Olivia Miles. For anyone who's been watching the NCAA games, because we have watch parties on Playback about all of them, all the Notre Dame games. She's playing incredible, absolutely freaking incredible. And I've never seen Olivia Miles play before until this season because she was hurt last year. And then the year before that, I wasn't really watching women's college ball like that. Yeah, she's absolutely incredible. Amazing size. She's at 5'11" at the point guard position. She can pass. She now has like a shot. She can shoot the 3. She can rebound. She's strong, fast, athletic. Basically everything that you would want in a point guard. Absolutely everything. And again, it's another golden rule in the WNBA that Notre Dame produced some of the greatest guards that we've ever seen. So I really do think the Sparks are going to pick her at number 2 because they either need a shooting guard or a point guard, and it's a lot harder to come across an elite point guard these days. So I have her going to number 2 for the Sparks. At number 3, which is the Chicago Sky. A lot of Sky fans, they crash out over everything, but they want Olivia Miles, even though they know they're not going to get her. And a lot of them do want Sonia Citron
Mm-hmm.
at that 3 slot. I for one thought that they would pick AZ Fudd if she continued to show consistency in her health and if
Mm.
she wants to declare, because I just again you always draft a UConn player, always. But I think Citron's a good pick for the number 3 slot. She's solid. Small forwards are pretty rare in this league in terms of being really good. She can shoot, she can defend, she can rebound. Pretty much just a jack of all trades, what a true small forward should be. So that's solid. At the number 4 pick for the Washington Mystics, I think they go with Anissa Morrow. The Mystics, the Mystics are like a weird team to the point where they're
LSU.
like really good, but they just don't have that franchise player yet to get them over the hump. So they already have their front court. Honestly, I think they probably have like one of the best young front courts with Shakira Austin, Aaliyah Edwards. With Julie gone, and we're gonna see maybe Jade Melvin maybe get that starting spot at the point guard position. I mean, we'll see who else they pick at number 6 because I think it's Georgia Amore, but Anissa Morrow at that 3 position is what they need. I think that's going to be really freaking solid for them. And then at that number 5 pick for the Golden State Valkyries, I think Kiki is going to be picked at number 5. Now, I always said before the expansion draft that however the Valkyrie picks their expansion draft players is going to determine who they're going to pick. So looking back at the roster, they have some pretty solid forwards of Monique Billings, Timmy Fatbinley, Xana Lassini, and Kayla Thornton. It would make sense that they would get Kiki at number 4, who could also, I mean, they say that she can sometimes play like the 3 position if they really wanted her to, but I think that's pretty solid. And yeah, but also, and then the last thing I'll say is that LSU is really good. LSU does have a chance to win the national championship. And Fly J. Johnson did say she will declare if they win a championship. And I definitely see her getting drafted top 5. So, I think that can change things for every team besides Dallas, because Paige is going number 1.
I like Thoughts on those picks, Ty?
Oh, I got nothing wrong with them. Yeah, those are all great players that I know are going to have impact in the league and could help those teams. They're pretty much, I think 4 to 5 are my players as well that I have going in the top 5, just in a different order. And we've talked about it. So I've said that Dallas is going to go out and get Olivia Miles first pick. Just because they need a solid point guard, right? That could set everything up, set Enrique up, set the bigs up, get them going. She's it. And she's a baller. And she's a true point guard, right? And she's developing her shot. I'm telling you, Olivia's the truth, as you've seen. So, plus, there's something about, you mentioned it, Notre Dame guards. I mean, them and UConn, they produce some guards, man. And you get them Notre Dame guards together, some magic can happen. No, it doesn't matter like if one is from 8 years ago and one is just coming in as a rookie. It's just something about them. They know how to play. So good things can happen there. So with that, I got Paige going to LA. That's just a no-brainer. You put her on LA, superstars, all the stars come out. She just fits it. You match her up with Cameron Brink and Ray Burrell and what's my other girl?
Rakia.
Rakia Jackson. Thank you very much. Rakia, I mean, that's an all-star cast right there. And young Lee Rue, I love her too. I mean, and can't forget the Erica, right? The mama of the team. I think that'd be a great crew for them. Who would I have going 3? Oh, Chicago. Yeah. So they need a point guard who can shoot. So for that, I'm thinking they draft Tahiti Pow Pow from South Carolina, who, is not flashy, not big, but she can shoot. You hit her for an open three, she can knock it down. And that was one of the big things they were missing last year. So if they could get like Kennedy Carter back, doing her Allen Iverson thing, slashing to the rim, hitting the mid range, her from the outside, and two bigs down low, I think they'll be a formidable bunch putting it together. Washington, I got them taking Kiki from USC. Shakira's injury history kind of bothers me. So I think you need another like forward big down there to help out. You just never know. And Golden State, for what Natalie wants to do, I can see Sonia Cintron fitting in there. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Like, she can do it all. Like, if you ask her to go out and defend for a game, she'll go out and defend and won't even worry about her offense. But offensively, she can go out and get you 20 points with ease. I mean, she can shoot. And she does all the little things that you want in a player to do. So that would be my top 5.
Someone in the comments said that they should trade Thornton for Plum and then also obtain Johannes. I can tell you right now, the Valkyries would average about 200 field goal attempts a game.
Yeah. Wait, with Kelsey Plum jacking it up and Marine jacking it up? Yeah.
Not a lick of defense will be played whatsoever.
No. Nope.
But I'd be more than happy for anybody to trade for Plum. She's up for sale to the lowest bidder. All right. Talk to me about Satu. Why are you out on Satu? Is it just because she's, out sipping margaritas instead of helping you guys, or
it's funny, people ask me this all the time. Even somebody on like the WNBA radio spaces was like, why do you hate Satu so much? Why are you always on Satu's case and stuff like that? And then they're like, look at her stats last year, they're so great, right? And then they keep looking at the stats from the year before, and then the year before that, and then the year before that. They're like, why hasn't she played? Literally has played 41% of the games her entire career, if not less. Listen, everyone knows Satu Sabli is a unicorn. She has that nickname for a reason. She is a top 5 player when healthy. Like, she's that freaking good. She can do anything out there on the court. The main problem is the best ability is availability, and she's not there for her team, and her leadership's also in question either, because throughout most of the season, or not most of the season, throughout the entire season, from the Dallas Wings, were going through a huge rough patch. We were going through injuries. We were losing games by 20 points. Our coach was going through it. There were rumors about firing, not just the coach, but the front office. And then Tier McCowan getting freaking technicals out of nowhere. A lot of doubts were happening in that locker room and just throughout the bench. And Satu was nowhere to be found because of a so-called quote unquote shoulder injury. It's like the weirdest thing, because like the doctor said that she could not travel because of this injury. And I'm like, all right, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to question it. She can't travel. But then I had somebody message me, somebody who's who works for like the radio show for the Vegas Aces, and told me that she's at the games. Like, she shows up at home games for the Aces. And I'm just like, how does she show up at home games for the Aces when she's not supposed to travel? The craziest
Miriah
thing.
knows.
Yeah, it's absolutely the craziest thing. Again, Satu's an incredible basketball player. She's an incredible human being, because she has like amazing stories with certain Dallas fans, especially in my Dallas group chat. That she has of helping people and throughout her community and stuff like that. But as just a leader and as a player for the Dallas Wings, I'm personally just sick and tired of her. I think we can just do better off without her. She has been a draft bust thus far because the definition of a draft bust is the expectations that you have for a player since they're drafted, not what they have done. And she has just done far less, way far less. So yeah, she can skedaddle for all I care. But I love Satu.
I hear that. Yeah. And it's frustrating. Like, I get it, like being a fan of a team and like you drafted this person, regardless of sports. You drafted somebody to be the person, and they're not living up to that. Like, it gets freaking frustrating, especially when your team's there losing in your ass. And it's like, well, we would be a lot better if you were, helping out. So yeah, I definitely get that. All right. Looking forward, obviously you guys have the number 1 pick. We just talked about drafting Paige. Talk to me about what you see from Dallas. Let's go in the next 5 years.
Ooh, next 5 years? Honestly, I see them being title contenders by 2026. I think the team is that close. And then even regardless, because again, my thoughts on Satu is like we can just trade her for like anything or just better pieces. But it is more than likely she's probably gonna stay, even though like I hate that she's playing an unrivaled. Like I just don't want her to play overseas and stuff like that. We just need to be the Liberty at this point and just start paying people under the table in their little contracts and saying do not play overseas at all to not have any injuries. But yeah, as for Dallas, I think 2026 we will have a complete roster. We will be championship contenders, absolutely, because I think that's the beauty of this number 1 pick and Paige Beckers as a player. She is making us better, but she's just adding to what we already have. We already have one of the greatest scorers in the WNBA with Arike Ogunbowale. Sure. We already have a top 5 player when healthy, Satu Sabali. We already I kind of want to walk away from McCowan. I think her attitude is just too much at this point, and she's just shown that she's a bit immature. I'm willing to let Kalani Brown have that starting position now because she's still under contract with us. So with Kalani Brown still a 6'7", 6'8" center, down low in the paint, I think we would do fine. We just have to find a power forward, which, again, I don't think we're going to find anything great this upcoming offseason because the free agency is not that really talented. But for the upcoming years, I think we'll be fine finding somebody. Once players and franchises see that we've completely turned our franchise around and that we can get back to winning basketball, I think and then especially in 2026, we get all of our facilities. We move into a whole new arena.
That's right.
Yes. And then a lot of people don't even realize that the Dallas Wings are the most valuable franchise in the entire WNBA because they're worth like $260 million, which is like way more than the Liberty and the Aces. So I think once we get back to winning basketball, I think players, coaches, franchises, they're going to see that we're going to be a hot commodity and players want to come to Dallas to play because we also have a really big market down here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I'm very, very interested to see what happens with Satu because why, if their team is willing to, keep you there, right? Why would you as a player not want to stay and be able to play alongside Paige? Like,
well, even just Arike. Like,
but
is a superstar right now.
She's been passing up playing with Arike. So
yeah, Arike gets a lot of bad PR. Like, I don't know how she has like the worst PR in the WNBA when literally everyone else shot chucks. Like Kelsey Plum shot chucks, Jewel Lloyd shot chucks, Skylar Diggins shot chucks. Like literally everyone does that. But yeah, we have like a great team. So, and we have some really good up and coming players. I think Maddie Zegras is going to be such a great freaking piece for us for the future going forward. And shout out to Maddie Zegras because she was just announced for the 3-on-3 Olympic team.
Yep.
Or I should say just Team USA. So yeah. And then I love Luke Lopez too. I got to throw that out there.
I like Dallas's roster. I like your guys' roster. It was just decimated by injury this year. You know, it's like player after player after player just kept going down, right? I mean, it started in preseason. Remember, young Jalen Brown just came out of nowhere, and she was looking like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
where's she been all our lives?
yeah, that was a weird situation because Jalen
Yeah,
at first had like a broken nose or something like
right,
that, which was
exactly,
real at the time. But then when she was healthy, and then we saw like Monique Billings literally go like Super Saiyan level 3 out of
exactly.
nowhere. We
It's like
were
it
literally
stayed
just
broken.
yeah, we
Yeah,
literally just made up injuries for her just to
right.
stay out of the lineup so we can keep Monique Billings.
Yeah,
For the longest, her stat report was she has a flu, and
Oh
she
exactly.
my
was literally
god.
just next to us on the bench, like
Yeah, she was just there.
yeah, just
Yeah,
contaminating everybody. So like, we
yeah,
just didn't care. So unfortunately, I don't think she's going to be back for us next season.
yeah. I don't think so either. But the injuries just kept going on. Like Maddie had a good game, then she would get injured,
Yeah.
and then this person would get injured. The injuries just kept going. It was the wildest season ever, but the core of the roster I think is very good. And if you could just add on to that, and like if a young JC Sheldon, who I like her a lot. She just hellish on defense. She gives it her all. And if she can continue to improve, can be a good role player for you. Like the sky is kind of the limit there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And then the most important thing about the Dallas Wings too is our front office. We have celebrated. Greg Bibb is out of there. I mean, he's still the CEO because he like freaking owns the team or whatever, but he's no longer the general manager.
Mhm.
We no longer have to endure his horrible draft picks, his horrible lineup changes, because he was controlling every single coach that came into our franchise, every
Oh
single one.
wow.
Yeah, we got Kurt Miller, who I think is historically one of the league's greatest developing coaches of all
Yeah,
time.
we
He's
talked
been a
about that.
GM and a head
Yeah.
coach for the longest. Yeah, I think he's going to do great things. I think he's going to do great things under us.
Yeah,
All
we
right,
talked about
last
Kurt being a
oh,
good pickup just because he knows how to assemble talent and put together a roster.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
yeah.
Last thing before we get out of here, I wanted to talk about this player. She's making headlines right now, but when I looked her up, she's been doing this for years and years. Since I found it going as far back to her being in 8th grade doing this, and that's Ashlyn Watkins. She's 6'3", and she plays for South Carolina, and she's been dunking like, and I was watching the clips, and she just does it like nothing. And like I'm watching it, and like you see the whole place like erupts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking like, and I always talk about with my wife, and like a lot of people when asked why they don't watch the WNBA, it's always, oh, it's not exciting enough. They don't dunk. Always top things. Not exciting enough. They don't dunk. And it's just like these women are tall enough. Like they're athletic enough. Like what stops them from dunking? Like I know for damn well Asia could be out there fucking dunking.
Mm-hmm.
And like you got this girl in college out there dunking, and the place is going crazy, and I just keep going back to like why are they not doing this? Like I can't wait. Like I hope this girl makes it into the W just so she can be out there dunking, and then maybe it starts catching on and they start doing a little bit more, because now we don't have like Brittany don't do it anymore. It's like nothing. Like we get none. What are your thoughts on just the WNBA and like why they don't dunk?
Well, you hit the nail on the head there when you said that Brittany doesn't dunk anymore. Brittany doesn't do a lot of things anymore. She doesn't even
Yeah.
rebound anymore,
We
unfortunately.
talked
But
about that.
She's like my
she,
worst enemy in the
Like,
W, I
yeah,
swear.
yeah,
yeah, she doesn't do that anymore.
yeah.
As for players who don't like, why don't they dunk? I think it's just to conserve energy. You know, I think whenever I try to explain like women's basketball to a lot of people, the game is played so much different, like such slower pace and so much tactical to the point where it's almost a completely different sport than like just men's basketball in a sense. Um, these ladies can dunk. I mean, we've seen pictures of Aja dunking literally in the Aces facility. We've seen Stewie dunking at USA practice. I mean, I've seen Han Shu dunk literally in Liberty pre-games.
Yep.
I honestly think it's just like an energy preserver. And then also the team, I don't know if like the coaches and like the team system allows them to do that because again, certain teams, their identity is like 3-point shooting, or their identity is like create so much space and then allow certain players just to drive it into the paint. So yeah, I think that's mostly what it is. But yeah, I mean, shout out to Ashley Watkins. She is an exciting player. I mean, South Carolina. I mean, the house that Don Staley built, she develops forwards. She really does develop forwards.
Yeah.
And I don't think I have a question. She'll definitely be in the WNBA. But we'll see what team she'll be on, and then what her development's like.
Yeah, I think it's just more opportunity. I don't think they get the opportunity to dunk much because they have to do it more on a breakaway, right? Like if you saw Ashton Watkins, she got in a steal and she got a breakaway in the open court, so she was able to go up and do it. You know, you see a lot of players in the past who have dunked. That's the same way they've done it. So it's just more opportunity to do it. It's not a thing of can they do it, because there's a lot of players that can. I mean, you saw Ashton Watkins do it. Dominique Longa can dunk. Kiki Arafini can dunk.
Yeah,
and
Brittany Sykes can dunk too.
Brittany can dunk. Yeah, she could get up. Kennedy Carter can get up and grab rim. She can tip dunk.
I'm pretty sure she can dunk as well.
She's athletic as hell. Like, you know, players can do it. And like young Toby Fournier, a freshman from Duke. I mean, she's getting up two-hand and dunking. Like this new breed of player that's coming, they are athletic as fuck. Like they can do it. It's just having the opportunity to. And as we know, the women's game has been normally played below the rim, right? And from the outside. So that's the core of it. So if they get an opportunities to do it, I'm sure they will, but they're not going to just, oh, let me get out here and try to dunk every time. It just won't happen.
Well, they should. All right. Last thing before we get out of there, the giveaway. Once this live ends, it'll pop up the new comment section. In that comment section, leave a comment in there telling us your favorite pick for the Golden State Valkyries from this expansion draft. So if you don't know one and you're just watching this to just watch it and win something, then you just put Kate Martin, okay? Now, other than that, you know, pick which one is your favorite pick from the Golden State Valkyries from the expansion draft, and we'll do the next time. I don't know if I'm going to be back from out of town. I'm going to try my best to get back in time for our show next Monday. But if for some reason we aren't live, then we'll draw the following Monday. So the next time Ty and I are live for the WNBA show, we'll draw the winner. One winner will get the WNBA pennant, and then also we'll draw a second winner to get this multi-use decal pack for the Aces. So just leave comment. Again, not in this live comment section, but after the video ends, it'll pop up the comment section. Just drop the comment in there, and that's all you have to do to enter. And we'll draw the names from there. Any closing thoughts before we get out of here?
Closing thoughts. Yes. Ray Burrell, if you're listening, you might have seen me in your DMs. I just wanted to say hi.
You too? No.
Yeah, listen. When Unrivaled posted that little story of saying like, "Hey, are you a hooper? We're looking for people in the practice squad." I'm like, "Oh my god!" I told my entire family I'm moving to Miami. Chasing the dream. I'm chasing the dream. Oh,
I ain't mad at you. That's all I gotta say.
yeah. Gorgeous.
That's great.
Yeah, man. Once again, as I mentioned last week, if you don't watch women's college hoops, you might want to start. Because, man, it is some good-ish going on. I mean, it has always been good, but it's like really good. You know what I mean? And this Thursday, I'm going to be torn because Notre Dame plays UConn. And of course, we got the 49ers game, and they're going to be on kind of at the same time. So I'm going to be split screening and trying to focus. But that's a big game. It's coming on ESPN that if you want to start right there and see some good hoops, that's one to tune into. And we've got Carlin's first round pick and my first overall pick going at it. So,
Yeah.
hey, let the best woman win. Although I'm a UConn fan, so I'm rooting for them. There you go.
There you have it. Chats, we appreciate you as always. Thanks for hanging out with us. Carlin, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
It's
buddy.
been a
Thank
pleasure.
Thank you.
You know, you're welcome back anytime. Definitely we'll have to do it again in the future. And then Ty and I will be back tomorrow to talk 49ers. We actually have a dub to talk about this week for once. So, yay.
That's right.
And yeah, everybody have a safe, wonderful rest of your night. Until next time, we're out of here. Peace.